Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back for another strategy spotlight video with the Terminator. Today, if you love Victorian warfare, if you love that kind of history of that time period, if you'd love to see games out there being made on this period in a tactical turn-based strategy game, well, I'm here to tell you in today's video that Fire and Maneuver is a brand new game just launched on Steam today. It is free and it is an early access beta game, but it is absolutely brilliant. It's such a different style of strategy gaming that I cannot recommend enough. It's developed by a prominent historical YouTuber called Armchair Historian. He and his team have been working on this game for the last 2 years, and I'm here to tell you, and we're going to go through all the features and the kind of battles, etc., that you might expect when playing it today in this video, but I'm here to tell you that you absolutely need to try it out. So diving straight into the main features of this game, you've got battles and you've got campaigns. Campaigns is a more work in progress area of the game. You're going to have lots of different types of campaigns in the Victorian era, from the Crimean War to the Peninsula campaign to the US Civil Wars as well. So lots of really nice stuff here, but we're going to focus on the battles, which essentially start off with either multiplayer battles of up to 4 players with different maps and different game modes, or private battles between you and the AI. So if you create a room, you'll get into the faction view selection, which you can choose up to 9 different factions: the French, the Germans, the United Kingdom, Russian Empire, Ottoman Empire, Austrian Empire, Kingdom of Sardinia, and the 2 US factions as well, the Union and the Confederacy. You can pick your faction here, and then you can start adding your AIs, your other players up top. You can pick your map on the right side here and edit the type of battle that you want to play, from the funds available to your the size of the units in your army, the number of orders you can give in your battle, which is quite important. We're going to get into that in the battle itself. And then this is really cool, how many kills it takes to win your battle, which is quite unique. I mean, this isn't something I've ever seen in any other game. So to have this option is quite nice as well. In the settings section, you can pick the map that you want to play on, including a chessboard, which is different, unique, interesting. The season, weather, start time, whether all of this is dynamic as well, from a weather and day-night kind of cycle as well. And yeah, so this is kind of the section you're going to go into to edit and prepare your battle. Moving swiftly into the battle view, once you've created your army, you're going to find yourself in a little kind of like tabletop view here, which is quite cool. This is essentially you as the general of your army, finding yourself in your kind of like army tent, kind of moving things around and sending orders to your units to move around and fire in the battlefield as well. So imagine yourself basically the general of your army giving orders to your units from the tent of your kind of like HQ, which is quite cool. It's not something you usually see in a game. And what you've got here is a deployment zone for your army. You've got various assets on the map as well, from the forest to roads that help you maneuver, farmlands which give you cover, river crossings as well, and elevation. All of these things is super important to just keep in mind in terms of, how you want to move around, where you want to kind of occupy and get around and face the enemy army as well. But what you want to do is obviously first deploy your army. So you're going to do this and get your armies onto the board, which I just love. I love this aspect of the game. You can get your maybe hussars on this side on the road, get your cannons ready to move up as well. Let's get them maybe over here. And you're basically going to start, confirming your deployment, using your orders to, get into different formations and moving up, and then firing on the enemy. Once you've made the orders for your units, and there's a limited number of those, of course, you hit the bottom right icon here, the mail button, which sends the orders to your units. And like the great strategy of this game essentially is that orders are sent simultaneously. So, your units will start moving up, they'll get into formation, and your enemy army will be doing exactly the same thing at the same time. So it's not so much I'll give my orders and then they'll do their orders and then you react to what they're doing. It's more of you have to anticipate what the enemy army is going to do and counter them with your orders. So with each phase of your battles, and you start sending in your cavalry and your rifleman starts firing into the enemy as well, you start making progress and essentially in terms of defeating the army, using your maneuvers and formations and elevation to your advantage to essentially be able to whittle them down and strategically gain the favor on the battlefield. In my playthrough so far, I found the AI is really responsive. It does a really nice job of kind of like realizing what you're trying to do and maneuver out of the way or change formation to get into a better situation. And it's just really fresh and well done. For me, there are two really impressive aspects of this game. The first is, of course, that it's a Victorian era game that is this kind of like strategy, turn-based, tactical, especially against human players. It's a kind of fresh take on strategy in this time period that will really challenge how you use your units, how you play on the different styles of battlefields and use the different styles of types of terrain, etc. as well to your advantage. That's kind of like the main first really impressive aspect to this for me. The second aspect is the potential for excellent campaign gameplay. Now, this isn't going to be anything like Total War, of course. It's a lot simpler in style and in mechanics. But what we have here essentially is a kind of really historically accurate and immersive like aspect of going about a campaign between two sides, various armies on the campaign map that you have to get to and defeat, caches, depots that you can raid and loot, supply systems that you need to make sure you're keeping an eye on, numbers of units per armies and types of units, and of course, like going up against the armies and attacking them and playing these out on the battlefield as well. And if this side of the game is multiplayer also, like between you maybe taking control of like the British here in the Crimean War and maybe two other players taking control of the Prussian side, there is so much potential for really cool gameplay here as well that I cannot wait to start getting into. This is all work in progress, obviously, so I'm not sure the campaign is ready to quite play yet, but this is just to give you an idea of what we can expect in the future of Fire and Maneuver. Overall, for an early access game, I think Fire and Maneuver has a lot of potential. There are some bugs here and there that obviously need to be worked on. There's some content that needs to be filled out and completed. Some hot fixes I'm sure will be released in the next few weeks and new content added in, especially on the campaign side of things, hopefully. But what we have here, from player progression to the number of factions available to the units that you can play around with and check out and test out, and the multiplayer aspect especially of playing against other human players, is just really well made, really good fun, well polished, a very fresh take on turn-based strategy gaming, especially in this Victorian era. And I'm personally really impressed by it all. And that's it for today, guys. Fire and Maneuver is out right now and it is free, so get into the Steam page, which I've linked below, and check it out for yourself. It's a really easy download, it's really intuitive, and it is a lot of fun. I've also dropped a link to the official Discord server where you can absolutely, and you should, talk to other players and get some multiplayer battles going, because that's where this game really shines. If you've enjoyed this video, do give it a like, drop any thoughts or questions in the comments section below, and let me know what you think about the game Fire and Maneuver. I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. Subscribe for more strategy game spotlights just like this, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.